Let's return to our top story now. And Sky News has obtained figures which suggest a rising number of landlords are shunning benefit claimants over fears they won't be able to keep up with payments due to confusion over the new universal credit. With us now is Brian Wernham, who's an independent project management expert and an author. Good morning to you. So what are the main issues then here as you see it? There are obviously things that aren't going as well with this.
Yeah. Well, Charlotte, I think the main point here is that people who are on benefits are going to find it very difficult to budget. One big simplifying assumption that's being made in putting together this new computer system for universal credit is that claimants should be paid monthly and should budget on a monthly basis. Well, that all sounds very well and good until, of course, you've got a long month and on the 30th, 31st of the month you start running out of money. Or if you have to tell the kids that they can't go swimming because it's the 5th weekend in a month and you have to wait until Monday to get your monthly payment. So the budgeting problems are going to be very big. And a report that was produced just 2 weeks ago, very late on a Friday afternoon, it was slipped out by the Department of Work and Pensions, showed that people who are on this pilot scheme for universal credit are finding it very difficult to budget. About 1/3 of them more than normal are borrowing from family and friends, and potentially the number of payday loans which people are going to be taking out to tide them over at the end of long months is going to increase from maybe 1% to 8% of claimants.
The difficulty is, though, the government have started down this route of implementing this system for people. So what choices do they have, in a sense? It's already had accusations of bad management, there have been delays, there's talk about the money that's been spent on implementing this. Are there changes that can be made to improve it at this stage?
Well, actually, two systems have been put together. The original system was built by Accenture consultants at a cost of over £300 million. And that isn't even being used at the moment. A temporary system is being used for the Pathfinder people who are on universal credit at the moment. And there's only 2,500 people who have gone on to universal credit over the last 8 months. So it's only a rate of about 12 people a day nationwide have actually gone onto this system. And the Cabinet Office have now advised Department of Work and Pensions to junk the old computer system. Old, 3 years they've spent putting it together, £303 million spent on developing it. But Cabinet Office are now saying that that system should be junked and the new temporary system should be worked on and improved incrementally to roll out universal credit at a much slower pace.
And there are fears about where this could lead to. We've heard about Anushka talking about, the potential for a housing crisis if landlords are then saying they don't want to be renting their houses to people who aren't going to be able to afford to pay the bills.
Yes, one of the simplifying assumptions of putting this new system together was that rather than paying the landlord the housing benefit, as has been the case for the last 20 years, you just keep one set of bank details on record, the claimant, and give all the rent to the claimant, and then the claimant gives the money to the landlord. So it becomes a two-step process. Obviously, a lot of landlords are very wary about this because of the small minority, but significant minority of claimants who don't always pay landlords on time. And I think we're going to see, we are actually seeing a resurgence of people saying no DSS, which means no benefits claimants. The DSS, Department of Social Security, doesn't even exist anymore, but people are still using that phrase now on new adverts that are being put out.
OK, Brian Wernham, thank you for that.
Thanks, Charlotte.
This is Sky News. Coming up, all the business